John 3 1 to 21. As I read this, the only thing that I can think about is that I was wrong. In chapter 2, I read about Jesus cleansing the temple and talking about how his body, he will be killed in 3 days. He will be resurrected. I thought that meant that he was in Jerusalem and was facing crucifixion, and I was kind of surprised that John went from, I never understood that until this time I read it, but I understood it this time as that John went from his early ministry to when Jesus is almost crucified. But then this one definitely is like, especially the bottom one, John the Baptist is not yet dead yet, and this leader, the Nicodemus, came and talked to him about being born again. So this is still early in his ministry, and yet in chapter 2 it talks about Jesus cleansing the temple. And so to me, now that I read chapter 3, or a part of chapter 3, I then know that my previous understanding of chapter 2 is incorrect. That maybe there was 2 cleansing of the temple where he saw them doing business, and he just like mess it up, like he overthrew and said this first one, though, is the wording is a little bit different. He said to stop it, pretty much. He said to take these things away from here, stop making my father's house a place of business. So he said, like, don't do business here, just stop it. Pretty much paraphrase. And then about the destroy this temple, he might have said that as an early reference, or he might have been saying that throughout his ministry. It's just his disciple didn't really understood it, but John remembered and wrote about it, that he said it early on. I kept on thinking that Jesus didn't really talk about his crucifixion and his death explicitly until when he was ready for, he knows that his hour is coming and he's ready for the crucifixion and on the way to Jerusalem. But from this, it seems like he'd been to Jerusalem at least twice. He overthrew the money changer table at least twice, and he told people about how the body of his the temple of his body will be broken, will be torn down and rebuilt, resurrected again in 3 days at least twice. So that's the only way I can reconcile that right now. And so back to this chapter 3, the idea is that there's this ruler of the Jews asking Jesus that this Nicodemus believed that Jesus came from God as a teacher because of the signs that Jesus is doing. And then he didn't really, he just said a statement, but then Jesus talked about how one has to be born again to see the kingdom of God. So maybe Nicodemus said that, but in his heart he wanted to truly know how to belong to the kingdom of God. And so he didn't understand, do you have to be go into your mother's stomach and to be born again? But Jesus said no, it's with water and the Spirit. And then he still said, how can these things be? And then Jesus said that he is testifying of something that he has seen. and that he is the one who descended from heaven, and no one ascended into heaven except him who descended from heaven, and that he came into the world not to judge the world, but so that everyone who believes will be saved. But the people love darkness rather than the light. But anyone who loves the light, who practices the truth, comes to the light, so that his deeds will be revealed as having been performed in God. So that was a lot, but the idea is that Jesus, we are already judged. We are already sinners. Our destiny is known unless we change it, unless we grab onto the life vest that Jesus threw for each and single one of us, through paid by his own blood and death and resurrection, and then we just grab onto it and we will be saved, because Jesus didn't come to judge us, and hell was not meant for us to be in. And NDE says that when people who have near-death experience and they go to hell, they don't believe that they were meant to be there. This place wasn't for them, is what they wanted to. They said this place is for the hell is for the devil and his saints, the Satan and his demon. And so we need to cling on to Jesus and accept his gift of salvation, which is priceless, and cling on to that and thank him for it, for every breath that we have.